call this August 26th meeting of the Mexico City Council to order.
Miller.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Shivers.
Yes.
Nichols.
Yes.
Gregg.
Yes.
For the approval of the minutes, do I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve the minutes of August 12, 2019.
Second.
Miller.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Shivers.
Yes.
Nichols. Gregg.
Yes.
Okay. For the public hearing to establish the 2019 property tax rates. I just open it up. Mr. Slagle?
Motion. I make
We have a
a motion to
motion.
open the public hearing.
Miller.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Shivers.
Yes.
Nichols.
Yes.
Gregg.
Yes.
Mr. Slagle?
Okay. As required by law, each year we are to hold a public hearing to establish the current property tax rate for the upcoming budget year. And Roger Haynes has prepared for you a PowerPoint presentation to go over the values and the rates, and so I will ask him to give his presentation.
Good evening, Council. We're going to make some comparisons from last year's assessed value to this year's assessed value, and also in the area of revenue, and then some historical perspective as to what rates have been in the city for the past few years. This first sheet, first of all, the assessed valuation is provided to the city from the county assessor's office. That same assessment value is sent to the state auditor's office for review so they can determine what type of levy adjustments may be allowed to keep the revenues neutral from the prior year. Last year, the total assessed value was $159,115,737. That is down approximately $649,000 this year to $158,466,188. Real estate's up about $1.23 million. Personal property's down about $4.43 million. And railroad and utilities is up approximately $2.29 million. The rate comparison from tax year 2018 to 2019, total levy rate last year was 71.90 cents per $100 assessed value. This year's proposed is 72.72 cents per $100 of assessed value. That is a change of approximately 82 hundredths of 1 penny. By state statute, a governmental entity shall adjust its levy rate to stabilize revenue neutral, so services provided by the entity can be maintained. As I mentioned before, the state auditor's office provided the city a pro forma calculation based on the assessed values provided to them by the county and what levy rates are allowed in the 2019 tax year, based on several factors, including prior year assessment adjustments, current year assessment, value of assessment growth through new construction and reassessments, CPI caps, value lost through asset aging or reclassification, and limits set through voter approval tax rate caps. As you can see, there are several factors involved, but here's the short version, basically using the general fund as an example. The current year assessed value of $158,466,188, less assessed valuation of new construction and improvements for the year, which were valued at $1,145,560, equals the adjusted current assessed value on previously existing property, coming up to $157,320,628. The prior year assessed valuation, which was shown on sheet 1, was $159,115,737. Less assessed value of property locally assessed in prior years but state assessed in the current year, which we did not have that this year. It gives us that adjusted prior year assessed value of the same $159,115,737. For the general fund, the prior year's adjusted assessed value multiplied by the 2018's permitted general fund levy, the 42.61 cents per 100 assessed value equals the maximum prior year adjusted revenue for the general fund, which is $677,992. For the general fund, the maximum prior year adjusted revenue plus permitted reassessment growth, which was not applicable this year, comes right back to that $677,992. That figure, divided by the adjusted current year assessed valuation of $157,320,628, equals the allowable tax rate for 2019, which is 43.10 cents per 100 assessed valuation. That same process is used as calculations for the parks and public health funds. The Parks Fund is proposed to be 9.87 cents and 19.75 cents for the Public Health Fund per $100 assessed valuation. The proposed levy and revenue allocation by fund for fiscal year 2020 based on the 2019 tax levy. The general fund would have a proposed revenue of $682,989. The Parks and Recreation Fund, $156,406. And the Public Health Fund of $312,971 for a total of $1,152,366 based on the total assessment rate of 72.72 cents per $100 assessed valuation. And that would be based on 100% collection. As a comparison, what we had in total rates in past years, you will see from basically the fiscal year 2013 through 2018, the rate that we are looking at for this next year is falling right between all of those rates. So the rate really has not varied much in the last 7 years, maybe as much as a penny and 3/4. And I'd be glad to answer any questions.
I do have a question, sorry. So this is, the assessment is on property. This does not include new construction or anything. How does that figured in if you have a lot of new construction in the?
Well, when they do the calculation for revenue neutral rates, they will take the total assessed value for the city and back out the value of the new construction.
Okay.
So that they can compare that to the prior year's adjusted assessed value to then make the calculation of what the levy would be allowed, whether it be up or down.
All right, so if you had a lot of new construction, would you get more money? I mean, would you get more tax money, collect more tax money then? Or they just adjust it so you just...
No, if you have a total assessed value with the inclusion of the new construction, you would collect additional taxes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's correct.
Just curious.
Now, we'll open it up to the public. Any comments?
I noticed that, can I speak? I noticed in the year 2012.
Please come up to
You
the
have to go to the
podium, state your name
My name's Matthias McManus.
and address, please. Need name and address, please.
I live at 15470 Highway JJ, Mexico, Missouri. Been here since '95. Worked at the Veterans Home since '97. Still reside there. I work at the YMCA and now at MMA, too, also. I have 3 jobs. I noticed that in 2012, Parks Fund received .20, and then as the years progressed down, they received less. What's the funding changes for that? Can anybody answer that?
You want me to answer?
Go ahead.
If you remember, we got the park sales tax, and so the agreement that we made to get that vote through was that we halved the property tax for the sales tax. So now you pay a park sales tax, where you didn't before.
Okay, so we lost revenue on that, huh?
You got revenue, you're making more from the sales tax
Okay.
than you were from the
Well, I can look at
Property tax.
2019.0976, and then I can look at 2012, and I can see .2, 2,000. That's a difference, So I don't see how I'm seeing more when I see less.
because you got park sales tax. You pay a sales tax you didn't pay before.
All right. Okay, that's all I need to say right now on the taxes and stuff like that. Thank you very much. I'll be back.
Close the public hearing.
Second.
Miller,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Shivers,
Yes.
Nichols, Briggs,
Yes.
Okay, now for a resolution, bill number 2019-58, a resolution authorizing the city manager to sign contract documents with Spike Construction for the 2019 Industrial Rail Spur Maintenance Project. Mr. Slate?
Yes, Your Honor. In this budget year, we allowed $20,000 for some maintenance on the city-owned rail spur in the industrial park. To cover the bids that we received and the recommendation, we will turn to Russell Rudge.
Good evening. Kinsey and I tag teamed on this, putting together a list of potential bidders. As you know, the rail spur that goes into our industrial park is the city's responsibility for the safety and the movement of safe movement of freight through there. And we had $20,000 budgeted this year. We received 2 bids, and one was for Spike Construction, which is a local company. They have done work on the spur before. Recently did some emergency work for us as well on one of the curves. That's all I have.
Okay. Any questions from council? What's your pleasure?
I make a motion to read bill number 2019-58.
Second.
Miller,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Shivers,
Yes.
Nichols, Briggs,
Yes.
Bill number 2019-58, a resolution authorizing the city manager to sign contract documents with Spike Construction for the 2019 Industrial Rail Spur Maintenance Project. I move for passage of bill number 2019-58.
Second.
Miller,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Shivers,
Yes.
Nichols, Briggs,
Yes.
Okay. Now for ordinances by two reading and title only and passage. Bill number 2019-59, an ordinance levying taxes on all property for the fiscal year October 1st, 2019 to September 30th, 2020 for the city of Mexico, Missouri. Mr. Slate?
Yes, this ordinance establishes a property tax rate for next fiscal year. As required by law, we held the public hearing earlier this evening. Mr. Haynes covered all the values and the recommended rate. So council, unless you have any other additional questions or comments, I'd recommend that we proceed with the 2 readings by title only and pass each of the attached ordinance, and the ordinance has been posted its required length of time.
Pleasure.
I make a motion, we read bill 2019, or ordinance 2019-59.
Second.
Miller,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Shivers,
Yes.
Nichols, Briggs,
I got it. Yes.
who's reading?
I'm reading.
Okay.
Bill number 2019-59, ordinance levying taxes on all property for the fiscal year October 1st, 2019 to September 30th, 2020 for the city of Mexico, Missouri. Move for second reading, bill number 2019-59.
Miller,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Shivers,
Yes.
Nichols, Briggs,
Yes.
Bill number 2019-59, ordinance levying taxes on all property for the fiscal year October 1st, 2019 to September 30th, 2020 for the city of Mexico, Missouri. Move for passage of bill number 2019-59.
Miller,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Shivers,
Yes.
Nichols, Briggs,
Yes.
Bill number 2019-60, an ordinance to repeal and replace ordinance number 4367 to rezone property located north of Teal Lake Road between Fairground and South Clark, and amending the district map referred to in section 42-205 of the City of Mexico, Missouri, zoning to R2 two-family dwelling. Mr. Slagle.
Yes, Your Honor, the attached ordinance corrects a legal description that was not referenced properly. To cover the details of the change of the ordinance, we'll turn to Rita Jackson.
Ordinance number 4367 was adopted by City Council on March 27, 2017. This was a request from Seidenstricker Properties, LLC, to rezone property located north of Teal Lake Road between Fairground and South Clark from R1 Single Family District to R2 Two-Family District. This allowed for the development of Teal Lake Village Plan Unit development. The attached ordinance corrects the legal description, which was actually discovered by city staff when we were reviewing the Teal Lake Village Plat 1, and also the section that was referenced in that ordinance according to the City of Mexico Code, it was changed due to the recodification of the code. City staff recommends that council proceed with 2 readings by title only and passage of the attached ordinance. This ordinance has been posted the required length of time.
What was the mistake?
It was a legal description, actually a directional type, south instead of north and east instead of west.
Okay, thank you.
I move for reading of Bill 2019-60.
Second.
Miller,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Shivers,
Yes.
Nichols, Briggs,
Yes.
Bill number 2019-60, an ordinance to repeal and replace ordinance number 4367 to rezone property located north of Teal Lake Road between Fairgrounds and South Clark, and amend the district map referred to in section 42-205 of the City of Mexico, Missouri, zoning to R2 two-family dwelling. I move for the second reading.
Miller,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Shivers,
Yes.
Nichols, Briggs,
Yes.
Bill number 2019-60, an ordinance to repeal and replace ordinance number 4367 to rezone property located north of Teal Lake Road between Fairgrounds and South Clark, and amend the district map referred to in section 42-205 of the City of Mexico, Missouri, zoning to R2 two-family dwelling. I move for passage of Bill number 2019-60.
Miller,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Shivers,
Yes.
Nichols, Briggs,
Yes.
Okay, bill number 2019-61, an ordinance amending Chapter 38, Article 10, Schedule 3 of the Traffic and Vehicle Schedule of the Mexico City Code. Mr. Slade?
Yes, what we will do, Your Honor, with your permission, is that we will actually cover the next 4 ordinances at once.
Okay.
And to note that city staff's been working to catalog and fix discrepancies within the city's traffic schedule to make everything match. So to cover the details, Kenzie, are you working, or is Drew? Drew's got this one. Okay. Drew Elliford, staff engineer.
Good evening, Council. As Bruce mentioned, this is somewhat of a paperwork side of things. We've been working with the Street Division to clean up a few discrepancies in the traffic schedules. Traffic schedules, in essence, catalog stop signs, speed limits, no parking areas throughout the city. These next 4 ordinances begin the cleanup process. You'll probably see us up here again doing this again maybe in another 6 months. The reason for this, we've implemented a new sign inventory system, and so as we're going along, we're finding locations where the 2 don't match. So all this does is it brings in line what's in the field to what's on our schedules, and then what's on our schedules to what's in the field. So if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
So we're going to roll all these into one and read them?
each one is separate.
Each ordinance is separate.
So we're doing all 4 at once. I just had a question then.
We'll do all 4 separately.
Oh, yeah.
We have to do each one separately, yes.
Okay.
Okay. So we're ready
Do you
to,
have any questions about it?
okay.
Did you have a question about
We
it?
just did 60, right? We're ready to 61. Yeah.
Doing 61.
Okay. I move for reading of bill number 2019-61.
Second.
Miller.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Shivers.
Yes.
Nichols.
Yes.
Briggs.
Yes.
Bill number 2019-61, an ordinance amending Chapter 38, Article X, Schedule 3 of the Traffic and Vehicle Schedule of Mexico, Missouri City Code. Move for second reading of bill number 61.
Second.
Miller.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Shivers.
Yes.
Nichols.
Yes.
Briggs.
Yes.
Bill number 2019-61, an ordinance amending Chapter 38, Article X, Section 3 of the Traffic and Vehicle Schedule of the Mexico City Code. I move for passage of bill number 2019-61.
Second.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Shivers.
Yes.
Nichols.
Yes.
Briggs.
Yes.
Okay. Next one, bill number 2019-62.
Okay. I move for first reading of bill 2019-62.
Second.
Miller.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Shivers.
Yes.
Nichols.
Yes.
Briggs.
Yes. An ordinance bill number 2019-62, an ordinance amending Chapter 38, Article 10, Schedule 5 of the Traffic and Vehicle Schedule of the Mexico City Code. I move for second reading.
Second.
Miller.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Shivers.
Yes.
Nichols.
Yes.
Briggs.
Yes. I move for passage of bill 20...
have to read it.
Oh, I have to read it again, sorry. An ordinance amending, Bill 2019-62, an ordinance amending Chapter 38, Article 10, Schedule 5 of the Traffic and Vehicle Schedule of the Mexico City Code. I move for passage.
Second.
Miller.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Shivers.
Yes.
Nichols.
Yes.
Briggs.
Yes.
I move for first reading of bill number 2019-63.
Second.
Miller.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Shivers.
Yes.
Nichols.
Yes.
Briggs.
Yes.
Bill number 2019-63, an ordinance amending Chapter 38, Article 10, Schedule 13 of the Traffic and Vehicle Schedule of the Mexico City Code. I move for second reading of bill number 2019-63.
Second.
Miller.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Shivers.
Yes.
Nichols.
Yes.
Briggs.
Yes.
Bill number 2019-63, an ordinance amending Chapter 38, Article 10, Schedule 13 of the Traffic and Vehicle Schedule of the Mexico City Code. I move for passage of bill number 2019-63.
Second.
Miller.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Shivers.
Yes.
Nichols.
Yes.
Briggs.
Yes.
I move for reading of bill number 2019-64.
Second.
Miller.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Shivers.
Yes.
Nichols.
Yes.
Briggs.
Yes.
Bill number 2019-64, an ordinance amending Chapter 30, Article 10, Section Schedule 18 of the Traffic and Vehicle Schedule of the Mexico City Code. I move for second reading. 2019-64.
Miller.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Shivers.
Yes.
Nichols.
Yes.
Briggs.
Yes.
Bill number 2019-64, an ordinance amending Chapter 38, Article 10, Schedule 18 of the Traffic and Vehicle Schedule of the Mexico City Code. I move for passage of bill number 2019-64.
Second.
Miller.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Shivers.
Yes.
Nichols.
Yes.
Briggs.
Yes.
Okay. Moving on to other business. Task order for sidewalk construction at 220 West Jackson Street. Mr. Slagle?
Yes, Your Honor. This is a sidewalk project, and the adjacent building owner, Robert and Helen Fenlon, has also requested some work as part of this project, and they have agreed for the cost share of their portion of it. And to cover the details of the project, we will turn to Kenzie Russell.
This is a project on West Jackson Street, running from Washington Street west to the alley, so it's approximately a half a block, and is adjacent to the building that the Finlands had their law office in there at 220 Jackson Street. The agreement with the Finlands is that we would cost share with them on the portion of the sidewalk from end of building to end of building. The city is picking up the cost of the intersection ramp, just as we do other handicap ramps around town. The Finlands are picking up the cost for filling in, blocking up the windows and filling in where the window wells exist that are in the sidewalk currently. And those are what has prompted the project. The steel plates covering those window wells and a coal chute have corroded, become a liability to the Finlands, and so they came and expressed interest in the sidewalk and what could be done there. So that's how this agreement got started. Total cost of the project using the city's on-call contractors, $23,170, and the division of the cost is $9,394 to the Finlands, $13,776 for the city. Entertain any questions that anyone has.
Do you know how much the sidewalk costs in front of the Mexico Service Center?
I do not. That was done by Missouri American with their contractor, and I do not know what they paid, what the cost was.
What do we pay per foot on replacing sidewalk? What do we pay per foot on replacing sidewalk with our sidewalk plan?
The current program per foot, the cost share program, I believe, is $7 a foot, which is considerably less than half of the cost per lineal foot. That's for a 4-foot wide sidewalk. This is 8 feet wide here of sidewalk.
We need a motion on this?
Yes.
I move we approve the staff report and request for sidewalk construction at 220 West Jackson.
Second.
Miller,
Yes.
Wade,
Yes.
Sugar,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Now for the claims.
I make a motion to pay the bills?
Second.
Miller,
Yes.
Wade,
Yes.
Sugar,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Briggs,
Time for council comments, starting with Ms. Briggs.
I know we had a busy weekend in Mexico with the football and the soybean parade and everything. Everything seemed to go well and it was enjoyable. And I've heard a lot of comments on it, so it's been good.
Good job to everybody helping with the soybean festival, especially to the public safety. You guys, I got a lot of compliments about how your guys down there handled everything. So that was a good thing. It was good to have people in town. You could see people coming from out of town. So wish we could do more big events like that and draw people in. The second thing I'm going to say is we were talking about taxes and stuff, and I just took a trip last week to Chicago, and on one hand, I'm going to say I was disappointed to see that the Highway 54 project obviously is not a priority to DOT. I mean, I went by Champs Bridge and they didn't put extenders out or anything. I mean, they have no near-term goal to make that 4-lane. I mean, if they would have, they could have very cheaply, comparatively to building a whole other bridge, built those out to accept 2 more lanes. Maybe not build the lanes then, but at least put the pieces in place for that. So that was kind of disappointing because I know we've worked years and years and years. It's just like the bridge on 70. They want to make 76 lane at some point, and so the bridge they're going to build on 70 They are planning to make it a 6-lane because they want to, that's a priority to them, is to make it a 6-lane down there. So that was kind of disappointing. But when you come to taxes, what was surprising to me is, people talk about Illinois and they talk about the high taxes. And I was really kind of shocked that I don't go to Illinois very much, but I think we get a lot of bang for our buck around here. I mean, it was not the prettiest sight, and they had a lot of old stuff, and I was just like, we don't tax as much as they do, but we seem to have better stuff. So I attribute that to our people that run our community, and thanks for all you guys do. So,
Mr. Nichols?
Well, I heard the festival went well. I got to attend about 10 minutes, and that was it. But about talking to them went pretty well. And that's all I'm at.
Well, I attended the football jamboree, and that was a perfect night if you wanted to go to a football game. And it was very interesting to see all the teams play. And then, of course, as we've talked about, the Soybean Festival seemed really big. I was impressed with the car show that was Saturday night. I think it started at 5 p.m. But 3 sides of the square, both sides of the lanes, down the wing towards where Erdl's used to be, down the wing over here, down the wing by Brett and Erdl, there were cars. I mean, there was a lot of cars up there. It's really quite impressive. I would say there was probably close to 100 cars, so that was really kind of a good time. I got to walk around and look at things that I can remember driving, maybe. Wouldn't mind having one, but that's it.
Mr. Slade?
I have nothing at this time, Your Honor.
I enjoyed the Soybean Festival. I missed the football game. And unfortunately, I missed the car show because my allergies were going haywire. So I was at home in my bed by 5 o'clock. But great job for everyone, the JCs, for putting that on. The parade was really impressive. And at this time, we will open it up to public comments. We'll ask anyone who wants to have anything to say, state your name and address for the record. And keep the comments to 3 minutes. It's time.
Hi, my name is Joshua Price, and I live at 116 Mary Street. And can we talk about the pipeline? Are we looking into legal action against them for what had happened?
It wasn't on city property.
I mean, yeah, but it was a mile from our schools. Pennsylvania's suing them too, and I'm just curious if that is something that we can look into. I mean, because they used our resources, they used our police officers, they used our fire department. Like it caused a crisis in our town. Like we were affected by it. It affected the members of this community, affected the people that work here. Some people missed work the next day. Like it was a significant situation that had happened to us.
I haven't heard anything about anything going
That's something you could talk to the city attorney about at some point. I wouldn't ask him to respond here.
Okay.
But I think you'd have to prove certain things that I'm not sure that could be done, but I think that's something you'd want to discuss with him.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Anyone else?
I'm Dr. Kenneth Burley, 998 Audrain Road, 371, Mexico, Missouri. I'm a chiropractor here in town, and I also help coach soccer. I'm an assistant coach on the swim team. And I just want to make a couple comments on the pool. I know I read in the newspaper that we're considering building a 25-meter pool, which I completely agree we need upgrades. I know a lot of families here in Mexico will actually go to Centralia or Moberly just because we don't have the amenities that other communities have with the pool. However, I would like you guys to consider another option on top of what you guys are considering, and that includes resurfacing the 50-meter pool, which I would believe you would save money, while adding the splash pad and slide and upgrading the bathrooms, which would keep more people here in town. But also, from a swim team approach, it helps our swimmers build endurance. It also helps us fund the swim team because we have long course meets here, and so that's how we pay for part of it. I know part of it is we're trying to condense down because of the lifeguards costs and whatnot, and me and Coach Matias talked about it, and we'd be willing to give half our proceeds from long course, the USA long course meet that we have, the big one. And then we also worked out something with Columbia Columbia, where we talked about having an intra-squad meet here if we still have a long course pool. In closing, I believe that we could resurface the pool, add a splash pad, the slides, the bathrooms, and in the long run save a little bit of money. You'd also have the 50-meter pool, which would increase recreational use. It's a draw for people who want their kids to be on swim team. When we had a meet the last couple of years, we probably draw 2 years ago, it was definitely, we drew 1,000 people to the community. Last year, because we had our meet on the same weekend as Columbia, it probably drew more like 500 people to the community. But we've worked it out with Columbia now where we've kind of stair-stepped it that way. We don't compete with them anymore. And then they said they'd also come to our meet too. And so, long story short, I know you guys have a job to do and whatnot, and you guys have to make the best decision for everybody, but that's kind of my take on it. Obviously, I'm biased because I have 4 kids on the swim team and I'm the assistant coach, but it really does help our swim team. And I think it also, having a bigger pool allows for more recreational use. So, any questions or thoughts? Okay, thanks.
Hello, my name is Matthias McManus. I live at 15470 Highway JJ. I'm the head coach of the swim team. I have sent 3 swimmers to college on scholarships because of the pools that we have and facilities that we have. The equipment that we have at the pool, the swim team's bought. The city hasn't had to pay for a dime of them. We're looking at tearing down the pool and putting a 25-meter pool in. They say in the paper that it was a 25-meter pool, but it's really 28 meters, and we haven't been able to have a meet there ever since we found that out. So we try to figure out a way, how can we make money to have a 25-meter pool to race at. So we went to MMA. They said, sure, you can use our pool, but we want $300. And that's a free meet, so we don't charge anybody to swim that day at that pool. And so when we make the money at the city pool, that offsets the cost of renting the pool at MMA. We are wanting to split our proceeds. Dr. Burley and I talked that if we do propose this change, and I've changed it this year also because our meet ran in conjunction with the Miss Missouri pageant. So we didn't know how much revenue we really were bringing in to show you guys that this is what we brought in. This is who rented a motel from, Alton, Illinois to come here to swim, on Saturday. So this year we took it from Father's Day weekend and moved it to the very next weekend. Columbia Swim Club is going to work with us, and they want to send their swimmers over, and we're looking forward to having some of their college swimmers swim with us. So it wasn't just going to be just high school kids swimming or elementary kids. It was actually going to be MU students that swim during the summer coming to compete to make our swim meet a bigger and better meet. It's a one-day meet, but we are also looking at doing dual meets with Columbia so that we don't have to travel so far to go to swim meets to get our times to go to these long course meets. It's been a great facility. It's helped my kids tremendously to build the endurance. The YMCA only has a 20-yard pool, and I can't rent the MMA pool to practice at, and it's not long course. If the difference between long course and short course is there's a wall at 25 meters and you can push off, and if you're good at it, you get 10 to 15 meters of no swimming. And when you got a long course pool, you don't have that. I believe we could turn it into a moneymaker if we're able to refurbish it, make it look nice, put a splash pad, put a slide with a water spigot on it, not one like we have now. That slide doesn't have any water coming in it, and you get stuck in it. I did that in '95 when I moved here. It's a well-designed pool, but it's missing a few features. And today, one of the features is where the 28-meter part is, it's supposed to have a bulkhead that slides up to cut it into a big, long 50 50-meter course, but it never got put in because when it was built, the company went bankrupt and the funds wasn't there. And the lane ropes deteriorated, and I knew you couldn't pay the cost of it, so we had to figure out a way to get the money to raise for these. I know I'm running out of time. I'm sorry. But I knew that the city didn't have the money to pay for these resources to make this pool really nice. So each year that we make money, I do not spend it on frivolous things. I buy more equipment to make this meet a lot better than it was the year before. We add medals, we add trophies, and we're trying to save it. I'll be honest with you. Without it, our team's not going to make it hardly. It's going to be really hard to hold on our swimming meet for the rec league. You know, that includes Centralia, Eldon, Jeff City, Fulton. You know, they come to our meet on the weekend because that's when we can hold it. We went from wooden blocks to real diving blocks. We went from mediocre can in the middle, rope, you know, swimming under and stuff like that, to, you know, doing a summer meet at MMA where they have a phenomenal facility. And because of the efforts that I put into it, I have become, you know, assistant coach at MMA. And I want to thank y'all for that, giving me the opportunity and using the pool. Chad.
Thanks.
And I want to step down.
Do you have a question?
No, I do have a question. You're talking about Fulton and Centralia. Do they have 50-meter pools?
They have 25-meter pools.
Okay.
The only ones that have 50-meter pools is us and Columbia.
Okay.
The other areas have to come to us to get their 2 meets in. And we were competing against Columbia, and they were getting upset with us because we're taking revenue from them, and we were, you know, vice versa. But this year we offset it because I wanted to see what the swimming team brought in on the 20th this year instead of Father's Day weekend, because we were competing against Miss Missouri pageant. And it's hard to predict how much the swimming team actually brought into the town whenever we were competing against something that's been going on for years. We've been doing this meet, USA meet, I want to say for 5 years. And
how much money do you bring in?
We bring $5,000 in, and we're willing to split it with half with the city. And we're predicting to go even further. Even when we do our duels, when we go to our duel over in Columbia, we pay $15 a head. We're willing to split that with the city. And they run the concession stand on our duels. We're trying to make it work. And I want the city to make money with this pool. Columbia, we could have ran 3 years ago, could have ran championships here because of air quality issues. We could have brought in, for 4 days running a meet, we could have brought in easily $50,000. We would have had over 1,100 kids here swimming on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday and Sunday. We would have closed the pool down to the public, but when has the pool made $50,000 in a 4-day period? Even to split it with you.
If they do that every 4 days,
Right.
Well, you know, they were, you know, we was running with water quality too. You know, we needed the water temperature to be a certain temperature too. Right. You know, we're willing to work with you, and there's other entities out there that will help us keep our pool at a 50-meter pool. We just have to go and ask them, like Phillips 66, TYR, other entities, Mutual of Omaha. They will provide money for competition pools where it doesn't cost any money out of our pockets. Okay. We just got to ask. You know, like I said, I didn't get a prom date without asking. We all know that. Right. And I thank you for giving me my time, more than 3 minutes.
Oh, no.
And again, I want to thank you, Chad.
This is great, Coach.
Yeah, well, it's good, great information. And, you know, just for the record, we hadn't made any decisions on how long or what we're about to go into that design build. So nothing is definitive yet. So
we know we need the slides. We know we need activities to go on at that pool to draw in the community, because that's the going thing now. The baby pool, that's out. people don't like the baby pool. You know, what do babies do? Take dumps, you know. I'll be honest with you. We're old enough to know that. You know.
Goodness.
You know.
Well,
Thank you for my time.
We'll keep in touch, too.
Oh, yeah, that was
you know,
good information.
Yeah.
And, you know, I got other clubs that are willing to help us, too.
Okay.
All right? Thank you very much.
Have a motion to adjourn?
I move we adjourn.
You need a second.
Second.
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Shivers?
Yes.
Nichols?
Yes.
Gray?
Yes.